Immortality. Such a beautiful concept. I bet everybody wondered, what would happen if you were immortal? If you could take no damage? That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? And today I'm gonna show you exactly how you can become immortal in Mortal Kombat Mobile. With any character you want. Let's get into it. You might have watched my recent video on how to make your Cold War Scarlet immortal using Edenian Pie and Pharaoh Ermac. And that is a good strategy. You can make your Cold War Scarlet immortal, but also it begs the question, is it possible to do to anybody else? Because not everybody has Cold War Scarlet. And the answer is yes. And there is multiple ways to do them. All of those strategies have one thing in common. And it's Pharaoh Ermac. That character is absolutely essential to making your own character immortal. Because of his passive, Feast of Souls, for every character that is defeated and for each opponent that resurrects, your team takes less damage. That is a key to immortality in MK Mobile. And before we go further into this, let's discuss what does and doesn't trigger his passive. The things that do trigger his passive are basically your characters dying, or enemy characters dying, or your enemy getting a Revenant. Those are the only things. Full death, no kind of resurrection on your side. Quan Chi, Spec Up Scorpion, Shao Kahn cloned, Noob Saibot Shadow. Your own Revenant doesn't trigger Feast of Souls. However, your enemy's Revenant or your enemy's Resurrection will trigger Feast of Souls. Since we can only get Revenant from your enemy in Faction Wars and Survival, we're not even gonna take it into consideration because I'm gonna tell you the strategy is not gonna be useful in Survival at all, so it doesn't matter that your enemy gets Revenant. It's mostly gonna be useful in Towers, so we're gonna fully discount Revenant as a useful source of triggering Ermac's passive. Also, each Feast of Souls is gonna reduce the damage your characters take by approximately 20%. It's a little bit less, but it's not really important. So let's do some math. Maxed out Edenian Pie gives you 25% damage reduction below 50%. So you will need 4 additional triggers of Feast of Souls from Ermac to be able to become immortal just using Edenian Pie, which is possible. You just need to sacrifice 2 of your characters and 2 of the enemy characters, so you're gonna be left 1v1 with your own character versus the last enemy character. But this is not very practical, so our task is reduce the amount of Feast of Souls stacks we require from the Ermac, and way number 1 to do it is to use the combination of Shadow Sash and Drachmin Mask. You can get 20% reduction on damage from special attacks and fatal blows from Shadow Sash, and you get 20% basic damage reduction from Drachmin's Mask. Drachmin's Mask is very difficult to get, so there is a way to substitute it if you don't have it with the talent tree. Rhino Stance in Defense Tree will, when maxed out, will allow you to take 20% less basic damage, which is exactly the same amount as Drachmin Mask would. Drachmin Mask drops randomly from Faction Wars, and I think it's bugged at the moment, so if you don't have it, use that talent to get yourself 20% extra damage reduction. So, using those 2 pieces of gear basically lets you use 1 less Ermac Feast of Souls stats. So now you only need 3 procs, which means you can sacrifice 2 of your characters and 1 enemy character. So all you need to do is defeat 1 enemy character, and you can make any of your characters immortal if you have maxed out Edenian Pie, maxed out Shadow Sash, and maxed out Drachmin Mask, or you're using Rhino Stance in the talent tree. Let's see how this works. Also, make sure to sacrifice your 3rd character first, and then sacrifice your Ermac last, because if Ermac is dead, no more Feats of Souls will be procced. So make sure to know how many stacks do you need, and then for the last stack, sacrifice your classic, your Pharaoh Ermac. Now, once we got 3 Feats of Soul stacks, you can see Raiden barely takes any damage because we have around 80% resistance to damage at this point, so he barely takes any damage. And once we hit 50%, then Edenian Pie will kick in and we're gonna start taking absolutely zero damage. Here we go. Absolutely no damage on Injustice 2 Raiden with only 3 characters dead on the field. Again, I could have killed off my Quan Chi as well instead of killing one of the enemies if I had a weaker team, and it would work exactly the same. So, fully Immortal Injustice 2 Raiden, and this will work on every single character. Now, imagine using this strategy on Cold War Scarlet. You can basically get yourself a fully immune Cold War Scarlet using only 1 stack of Pharaoh Ermac. This is absolutely ridiculous because she gets 20% from Shadow Sash and Drachmin Mask, 50% from her passive, and 25% from Edenian Pie. Now, there was a speculation in my previous video that X-rays don't actually do damage. It's just because I was above 30% with my Cold War Scarlet. That's why I took damage. However, I'm gonna disprove this right now. As you see, he does X-ray when I was in my immortal state, in the correct health, and I still took damage. So for some unknown to me reason, X-rays and fatal blows still deal damage. And also something insane happened right here. With Shield Break, Scarlet applied Tanya applied Shield Break. So Shield Break actually lowers my the amount of damage I take. I mean, increases, which puts me in basically mortal state again. So X-rays, fatal blows, and Shield Break are the only things that can kill you while you're immortal. So be wary. But this is not all. There is way number 2, which is an even better way to become immortal in MK Mobile. But I gotta warn you, this one is very, very, very expensive. Huge shout out to Usman for letting me use his account to showcase maxed out famous fashion Dominator. That piece of gear is absolutely broken when it comes to making characters immortal, because if you read what it does, when maxed out, gain energy shield when below 80% health. Energy shield reduces all incoming damage when user loses health. Maximum reduction 50% at 20% health and below. So this one piece alone gives us 50% damage reduction. Combine it with 25% Edenian Pie, it's already 75. Now, if you put Shadow... You can't put both Shadow Sash and Drachmin Mask because there's not enough slots. And this only will work on diamond characters because you need 2 armor slots. If you put Famous Fashion Dominator together with Shadow Sash and use a talent, Rhino Stance, to give you extra 20% basic damage reduction, you will get overwhelming 95% damage reduction right off the start, and you will only need 1 stack of Ermac's passive in order to become fully immortal in MK Mobile. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find a single person who would have Edenian Pie maxed out and also Fashion Dominator maxed out. Unfortunately, Usman didn't have Edenian Pie maxed out. But I tested that Fashion Dominator definitely works, and it requires only 3 stacks of Ermac's passive to make a character fully immortal. So I see no reason why it wouldn't work together with Shadow Sash, Drachmin Mask, and Edenian Pie maxed out, giving you 95% damage reduction, which is mind-blowing. Now, to wrap up this video, let's talk about which characters I think are the best to make immortal and what's the best use for this, at least until it gets patched. Let's be honest, it's probably gonna get patched in the next update, but before it does, let's have some fun with it. So, the best character, in my opinion, to use for Immortality is gonna be Guardian or Dark Fate Terminator, whichever you have on higher fusion, because those guys are immune to X-rays. So pretty much the only way to kill them is gonna be using brutalities or shield breaks. which it's really useful when your character can actually die to X-ray and Terminator is immune to it. You have much less risk to die when you're immortal. And unfortunately, I don't think the strategy is going to be very viable for survival, because in order to trigger immortality, you need characters to die. And yes, it will work when you need only 1 or 2 stacks, for example, if you're using Fashion Dominator. But if you need more than 1 or 2 characters to die, then it will require you to sacrifice your own characters, which in survival is just not acceptable. So if you have fully maxed out Fashion Dominator and you have Shadow Sash, and you have fully maxed out Hydanian Pie, sure, you can kill one enemy and become fully immortal and then just finish the rest of them, and it's going to be super broken in survival. Also, there's obviously way more ways to make characters immortal. You can mix and match. You can, for example, use Cold War Scarlet with maxed out Fashion Dominator. She will basically become immortal without even using any other gear or Pharaoh Ermac. 50% from her passive, 50% from the Dominator. Immortal Scarlet right from the bat. Or you can use Fashion Dominator maxed out with, for example, if you don't mind to get 3 stacks of Ermac's passive. Just make the math in your head. You need to get at least 100% damage reduction from any source mentioned in this video. So yeah, good luck experimenting. Yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. Immortality and MK Mobile. Who could have thought? I want to give huge thanks to Legendus to firstly discovering the Cold War Scarlet bug, which basically gave me an idea for this video, and also want to give a shout out to MobiFlag Gaming that actually reached out to me, showing me a very similar video after I started working on this video. I hope you enjoyed the format of this video. It's a little bit different, a little bit unusual compared to my regular content, but I just wanted to try something new to see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for every single Patreon for supporting this channel. You guys inspire me to make better content every day. Thank you so much for supporting. If you want to support me on Patreon, the links are in the description. And I'll see you in the next video. Click that subscribe button. Click that notification button until it rings. And I'll see you soon. Take care.